Hi, I'm Clever Ghoul, but you can call me Nikki. Welcome back to the channel. As you know, sadly, Halloween season is over. Normally, I wouldn't start getting into Christmas content until the end of the month, but people seem really on it early this year, so I guess it's time to start. Recently, Pottery Barn has released a gingerbread village, and people seem to be going crazy for it over on TikTok. Now, last year, I made a gingerbread house out of foam clay, which I can link in the description box below. But I wanted to create something that had the same feeling of these Pottery Barn houses, but for way less. So I stopped at Dollar Tree and picked up some of these little wooden houses and some tacky glue and got to work. This is an easy project. It's mainly just painting and gluing. So let's get into it. Here are the two styles of wooden houses I got from the Dollar Tree. I got 3 of the plain smaller wood style and 1 with this fabric on top of it. I also picked up some tacky glue. First, I peeled off the fabric from the larger house. I used an X-Acto knife to help separate it from the top of the roof, as well as a ruler to help pry off the little sign piece. There was some residue from the fabric and glue, so I took a piece of chipboard, lined it up with the roof, and traced the shape of the house on it. Then I cut out the chipboard and glued it down on top of where the fabric had been to cover up any of that residue. Next, I laid out the houses to see how I wanted to attach them. I decided I wanted the larger house to look like it was in front of the 3 smaller houses, so I glued 2 of the smaller houses together and set them aside. Then I placed the larger house on the remaining small house, figured out how I wanted it to be aligned, traced the outer edge with pencil, and then laid down the tacky glue and glued down that first edge. Later, I would repeat the process with the 2 smaller houses. I also taped down the larger house just to make sure it stayed aligned how I wanted it to. Then I let everything sit and dry for a few hours. Once dry, I took off the tape and put down the first layer of paint. I used an acrylic paint by Americana called Honey Brown. After putting down a base layer, I decided to draw out how I wanted the white icing details to look in Procreate. I referenced the Pottery Barn image while creating this. I really like the swirls and leaf-like details, so I focused on those, but you can do whatever you want here. Have fun with it. I did a second layer of paint and then let everything dry again before moving on. I didn't want to go straight in with the white paint, so I took a light gray colored pencil and mapped out the elements first. When I was happy with that, I pulled out the white paint and using a variety of brushes, started in on the details. When doing this, I would suggest working from left to right if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, do the opposite. This way you won't accidentally get your hand in any wet paint and smear anything around as you work. I also used some medium to small brushes so that I could make some elements stand out a little bit more and some be a little softer. You could also use puffy paint or spackle here if you want a 3D icing look, but I just used what I had available. Another tip is to work slowly here to get your lines just how you want them. Personally, I wanted it to look a little more rustic or realistic to how a homemade gingerbread cookie would look, but if you want to be more precise, that's fine too. There are no rules here. Part of the fun of the Pottery Barn set is that it lights up, so I dug around in my craft bin and found these miniature battery-powered string lights. You can find some on Amazon. I decided to tape these to the back, following the outline of the overall shape of the piece. You could also glue them down if you wanted. I just like to use tape so I can adjust them. Now that that's done, it's time for the reveal. Here it is all done. This project is really easy and really fun to do. I think it could be great for a craft party or to do with kids. You could make it even more unique by adding elements like glitter, ribbons, buttons, colorful paint, really anything you can think of. I'm so glad I added in the lights on the back as it makes it stand out a little bit more and looks really pretty at night. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!